My good friend Scott, thank you for the introduction. How are you doing?
Good, good. It's a
I
Wednesday.
want to make sure that everyone is seeing my screen, everything being displayed as appropriate, all nice and clean.
5 by 5.
5 by 5, sir. Let's rock it. First of all, I want to thank everybody for being here. We are grateful for you guys taking your time to listen to myself, Brad, and the whole team. Quick disclaimer, Trade Ideas is not a registered investment advisor. All the information that you are going to be listening to today is for educational and informational purposes only. If you want specific advice for specific securities, please consult a registered investment advisor. So guys, today the presentation part of the PowerPoint is going to be very, very short, okay? There's a lot of stuff that Brad and I got to discard, but as many of you know, today, Brad, is the end of the test drive. Brad, do you know what that means when I say it's the end of the test drive?
Yeah, well, it's the final day. If we had a week-long test drive that we offered out to our clients and people that aren't our clients to take a look at our software. This is the last day that we are letting people take advantage of that, so we are winding it down. Pretty successful test drive.
Yeah, we've had the most people we ever had, and I'm going to get back to the PowerPoint, but I'm going to jump kind of right into it, guys. So Brad, you know that in terms of presentations, we're kind of, I believe we're some of the more creative presenters out there in FinTech, because we do not spend time telling you guys about the super secret line that crosses over some other super secret line that gives you the super secret buy signal that nobody knows about. We don't do that. Instead, Brad, what do you and I do? We give metaphors. We give deep, deep presentational learning where once you hear it, you grab on and it never leaves you. Like, for example, we explained to you that the whole stock market is what? Hazard counting. Remember that, Brad?
I do, from a couple months back.
That's right. And you and I were the Duke boys. And the server technology of Trade Ideas was the General Lee, and as you know, nobody can beat the General. But today, Brad, are we going about our business talking about the General Lee?
Well, I mean, look, the software speaks for itself. It's just another day in the life of Trade Ideas, finding great opportunities and using our AI technology to do that.
But Brad, I'm not here to do presentations and get paid millions and millions and millions of dollars and millions to tell people that basic stuff. I've got to go deeper. I've got to make this stuff stick to people so that when they're done with this PowerPoint, they tell their friends, "Did you guys hear that PowerPoint?" That's what I want to hear, or this presentation. I want people to get blown away. So I want to make it simple. I'm going to give you the successful things you're going to need to make money from this point out. And I want to do it, Brad, in the point of view of a cheetah on National Geographic.
Fair enough. Let's hear it.
So how does a cheetah teach its children how to kill? And by the way, in the wild, what do you got to do to eat?
You got to hunt.
And kill.
You have to capture your prey.
You got to capture your prey. If you don't capture your prey, if you let other people capture your prey and give you a morsel, are you going to be fed?
It's going to be a lot harder to get food, that's for sure.
You got to be self-reliant. So in the wild, ladies and gentlemen, and believe me, this is the best stuff you're going to hear about the stock market, because everything else that you hear about with the indicators and the signals, that's all bullshit. Okay? What you want to know is this. How do you really learn to do it? Okay, Brad, there's a lot of fake news out there. Like, for example, I was driving up to my house yesterday and I accidentally hit my AM radio. And do you know what came on? A commercial for the online trading.
Not an idea. What came on?
A commercial for the Online Trading Academy.
Ah, the old
A commercial on AM radio for the Online Trading Academy talking about how, you know, you can learn how to stock trade in a classroom setting. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to break this mold of BS that you've been fed. First of all, Brad, you know me and I know you. People really learn well in a classroom setting. Is a classroom setting where anything really happens. Like, for example, do you learn how to play golf in a classroom setting?
Yeah, it's not the world of practicality, is it?
No, but why is it that everybody wants to lure you into the classroom? Not trade ideas. And trade ideas, Brad, we do it the cheetah way. How does a cheetah teach its kids to hunt? It takes the kids with it.
Got to show them firsthand, right?
You got to show the kids how to do it and what happens when you're wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, remember when we were making trade ideas, when we wanted to completely break the mold of technology and finance, we thought to ourselves that one of the big problems, of course, is, yeah, you can take a class, you can be mentored, but what happens when a mentor is on vacation? What happens when you need to do it on your own? How do you scale the fact that you can't have your hand held for you? Well, that's what we did here, okay? Trade Ideas AI is your cheetah. It is your efficient hunter. And let me, Brad, do a quick adjustment to my single stock window. Now, as you guys know, I'm typed, by the way, Brad, my screen visible, right? Everything?
Yep, we can see it all.
Okay. So, Brad, what happened to the S&P today?
Kind of flat, down a smidge, right? I mean,
Kind
not
of
a whole lot
flat,
went up.
down a smidge. And what happened to our artificial intelligence?
Well, like most days, it finds great opportunities, both long and short, and now in triplicate.
That's right. Look at the percentages. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a hunter hunting. Look at these percentages. Remember that hedge funds created a word, a spell, and so did the whole financial world. They created a spell over the individual investor. And Brad, you know I talk about this all the time. And it's a spell called basis points. Two words that mean nothing at all. And it's a way to disguise low returns. So for example, when you made 100 basis points, that's 1%. Well done.
Yeah, it's just another way to say percent, right?
It is, but in basis points. 748%, 624 basis points. Nobody that talks in percent would ever talk in basis points. It's only when you can't, like when you make 98 basis points.
Yeah, only when your returns are so small, right? That you have to.
Returns are so small when they're ground out, like when the returns are so small that they are like the stuff that the fish on the glass eats. That when you look at it, you're like, what's that thing doing on the glass? There's no food there. The fish is like, there's some food there. You just don't know. You got to suck really hard like that fish.
So, I mean, looking at this list of stocks that were selected here in Holly 2.0, you can just look at it. It's not only just giving you great trading ideas, but it's teaching you how to manage that trade and not to take any big losers. I mean, that's the real big key. Never take your big losers. It's going to wipe you out. It's a systematic approach.
Brad, there's also that other concept that we talked about the fact that there's the favoritism towards those things that to the people that have slightly more capital, right? You can try more things. But notice here that as long as you are available, trading does not work in one shot, one kill, Brad. That's the other thing that we try to showcase that most people just don't understand. You know, if you want to trade one trade, or make one investment, right, and hope that that's the one, do you understand how tough that is? You have to unlearn what you've been taught. It takes a little bit of trial and error to be able to, using proper technique, get these kind of returns. And notice that both long and short is being implemented. In other words, our teacher is teaching you how to do it every single day. As Brad said, some stocks are small, some stocks are bigger. Some the computer says are good for selling, some the computer says are good for buying. And now you have 3 different AI opportunities. The idea here was simply to give people more opportunities to take advantage of. Notice, and I'm going to close the open trades window because we're after market hours here. That is a fairly strong argument for you to be really focusing on this. The question is, why else, what else are you going to be doing? You really got to look at this in terms of opportunity cost, right? Think of yourself again as the cheetah. What most investors do is they sit there and they wait for the mom to kill something and bring them back a scrap. Those are the guys that are sitting there, they want to watch the guru. The guru will call out a name, so you don't have to think about anything. Then you enter the same thing as the guru, probably not as good of a price. And then hopefully it goes in the direction of the guru and everybody makes money. That will happen like 1 out of 5 times. Okay? But it's not scalable. So we are here trying to foster a completely different perspective on how to be self-directed. We've automated all of the difficult things. We automated the entry, and we automated the risk management and the exits so that you can visually see exactly where you are, what you need to do, why it is that you're doing that, and there's never a risk, meaning that you're not flying blind. If you're Maverick, Goose is always with you. This is before he, had that accident.
Before he hit
not
there.
Solo flying here. And the idea of having 3 of these AI channels just simply means when you come in, you can watch the P&L, you can see what's going on, and you can kind of then understand for yourself what would you have done. One of the things that I like to do, Brad, is I like to kind of go and look at things in terms of what are my odds from the start. Like if I picked the first trade today in Cray, what would have happened? Okay, so in risk off mode, it would have been a stop hit, which happens, by the way. So we talked about this. So you get in here, you get stopped out, look, re-enter. Brad, how many times have we discussed the fact that trading is fluid? If you get stopped out, well, here you do nothing. Now you start watching it. If you're back at the signal, it's a go because this thing was statistically significant. That was the whole point. Do you see that you can trade around? You could have missed this the first time, come to it because, again, maybe you have another job, maybe you're doing something else, right? And noticed it only here and still have had a fantastic trade. So that was the first one. And I kind of look through these and I say, okay, so what would I have done? Number one, Brad, remember you and I talk about the fact that it's not a one shot, one kill. Okay. A lot of times the AI gets you into situational awareness. So we went here, nothing happened, but I'm going to come right here and I'm going to say, because we talk about it's taking notes. Say, thank you, Holly. And I'm going to hit save. So I'm adding this. Boom. So what's happening is I now have an alert here. If this initial Holly entry is good, once it really goes beyond this resistance level, I'm back in. Does everybody understand what I'm talking about? Are there any questions as far as what that is? So here again, I'm adding an alert, right click, create a price alert from Holly, and this is a rinse and repeat. If you get into something, like here for example, this is a short sell trade, right? And again, you can do what we call bracketed, because remember, the future is unknown. Holly thought that this was negative, and it could be. So we can put another reminder that this will keep going down. But if you want to buy it, if you want to play the excuse me, the dip, and just simply alert yourself to it. In fact, you can use an even number and say turnaround. See? Very, very simple. So you don't have to even necessarily follow all of Holly's directions, but this is how excuse me, the computer and the human work together. Best practices. So now I'm going to switch channels. This is something that we talk about all the time. Channel surfing is a concept that you can really get comfortable with if you aren't too tied to your specific layout. And it's easy for beginners. So remember, every single channel has been pre-configured. Whoops, what did I do? Brad, what just happened? Sorry guys, I'm in a presentation mode and I accidentally minimized everything. Brad, hold on. Let me, there we go. Is everyone still able to see it? Sorry about that. Hello, Brad?
Yeah, now we can see it. Looks good.
Let me make sure it's still clean. Sorry about that, guys. I accidentally missed it. But again, we talked about.
In fact, don't click on a channel here and show the guys another way to change your different AIs. So let's say you have your own layout and you've got various AI windows kind of intermixed in your layout. Do the segment switch. Go onto the strategies window and show them how to switch to a different AI channel.
Sure. So we have these filters right here on the strategies window, and
but don't do that filter. Go ahead and just write.
I know that. I'm just saying that I'm just describing that you can filter this way, and all sorts of different other ways, and then you right-click, and you go specify the segments, and here. You can switch easily, between the AIs. So now I'm in Holly Grail 2.0, I'll go to Holly.
Yeah, and this way any other windows that you may have visible on your screen aren't going to disappear. They're not going to, change your layout. Just another way to do it.
Yeah. So all the windows stay the same, everything. Guys, for those of you that are wondering about CPU usage and all of that, trust me, this is not something you want to worry about. We thought about that forever. This is a server-side application. All the processing is done in our data center in San Diego, so we don't mess with it. In other words, we don't mess with your computer processing power. You're free. Your computer is not tied up. I mean, it's processing a lot of information, but we do everything in our power to make it as easily and stable and properly working with all of your other applications. There should never really be an issue. So all of these trades that you see here, they have an entry time and an exit time. These exit times are in risk off mode. Just want to make sure people understand. So there's two modes, risk on and risk off. One mode says let the volatility pay you. In other words, if things are working in the direction of the AI is saying you don't need to get out, stay in. That's what risk mode is. And the same thing about re-enter. That is what it is to be risk on. And when volatility is working, typically the AI is in risk on mode. And again, it'll load and you'll see. And you can always go back. You can see 99 in risk off and then 222 in risk on. So these are the things that as it's happening, you are always notified. So here's a really nice example, Brad. So on this one, entry at 7:18 and then pretty much, let's see here, 7:44, 8:30. So you had a risk off, 6% in profit. In other words, 49 cents and 98 for the whole day. So meaning if you got out of it in just under an hour, then you would have gotten the 6%. If you stayed in, you would have gotten 13%. That's how it worked. Does everybody understand? So yes, ATRA, that is correct. It did hit that target in a minute. But I want to show you something that happened. And this is where you don't need to always worry. So look, it hit the target, boom. Okay, so let's say you didn't get into it. You missed it. You're watching it, right? It even went back above the target. But look, it gave you another entry right here. Look at that. I mean, remember, our AI is doing all the things that we all wish could be done. If you could run like a cheetah and catch a rabbit, that's what you are doing here. you've got to really understand that everything that you have been taught about the stock market, from technical analysis to fundamental analysis, it's all changing because we are rewriting the book about how things are done. Completely. Guys, you can do so much better than anyone has ever taught you. Because the reason people tell you not to mess with it is because they only want the privileged few to know what can really happen in the stock market. That's it. But the beauty is, you can't stop the technology. You know, we are not in New York. Our money does not come from large institutions. It comes from little guys like you. We just have lots of subscribers all over the world, and we never ever needed venture capital as a result. That's why all of this cool technology is happening. It's happening because of all of the people that have helped us. Which, Brad, by the way, again, I'll just kind of channel surf a little bit here. Let me go to our After Hours channel, just so that you guys know that we kind of break things up in pretty much every way that you can. If you want to see what's going on post-market in terms of who's really doing well post-market, here you go. Or who's doing poorly. All things are available. The idea is that we just don't want you to sit there underneath your car for 12 hours before you take a ride. That's the part we think you enjoy the riding more than tinkering. That's what it's all about. These channels are all pre-designed so that you don't have to think a lot about it, whether you're looking at ETFs or whether you're just looking at things that you yourself like. Remember, I was telling you that whenever you're looking at stocks, you have an ability to like them, just like on social media. And so here's a channel of everything that I like. And you can remove things. Easy. Look around, social media. What makes trade ideas different is that we're not only looking at stock market data, we're looking at social data, and we're looking at data that other people simply do not have. Because we've been the only ones doing it. We make our own data with the data that we have gathered, and we create something new out of that that nobody else has in the world. So Tony, Brad, if I may. Tony, lots of people talk to us about news. News is a catch-22, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to know about the news because once you can read it, it's already been processed. You don't want to be like, it's the, for the slightly, Brad, I'm going to age myself here a little bit, but for the slightly older folks who remember this movie called Blue Streak, Kevin Bacon, Lawrence Fishburne's in it also. He was a Wall Street guy and basically blew everything up. And then he, at the end of the movie, he's like researching on Wall Street Journal and reading and finds something in the Wall Street Journal and highlights it with his highlighter. And then he figures it out and then, of course, makes all the money back. That's not how it happens, guys. Forget the news. We've processed the news here already. By the time the news is written, it is over. You've got to unlearn what you have learned. There is no way that you are processing a news story, placing a trade before anyone else is happening, has had that information and profiting on it. That is gone. It's left. Okay? So you can, by the way, something else though, is that you can right click anything and you can say send to, let's say, custom window charts or some kind of web link. So here I can say Yahoo Finance. So do you see what I'm saying? So here I've already did what you said. Send to, where'd it go? And then web. So you can easily do that. Already available. We have all the information that you need, guys. We have more than you need. That's the thing. Remember what I was saying about the cheetah, okay? Because this is very, very important. I'm assuming everyone is here really for the same thing. We all want to be successful investors I am already, Brad is already, but we want you guys to be as successful as well. How do you do it? Stop thinking. I know, sounds counterintuitive, but you have to start acting. There's a time where you have to just put all the bullshit away, put all the news articles away, put the accounting books away, put everything away, and make the trade. That's it. That's what happens when the cheetah teaches her cubs the right way, and they are now helping her in the hunt, and eventually they go away and hunt for themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, if you overanalyze, if you overthink about something, there's no comfort point. There's no easy solution. There is no perfect feeling where like Elon Musk calls you and is like, hey, earnings are going to be good. Trust me. That just doesn't happen. It does not happen. But what does happen is quickness. What happens is a systems approach to success. That's what we do, Brad. We repeat the same things over and over again every single day. Many of you here have seen this already and already profiting from it. That's our objective. Our objective is to get you to where you need to go faster. Because otherwise, you are going to be stuck chasing your tail in the stock market. Almost every vendor out there, unfortunately, has in their minds for you to eventually put your money away at someone else's mutual fund to manage. Yeah, that's the sad, sad story of the whole thing. It all ends the same way, but now with trade ideas, not with the only firm that's never gotten financing from venture capital. Which brings me, Brad, to a pretty important point for everybody here who's listening. So for about approximately a month now, I've been disclosing, dropping breadcrumbs on the Q&A. The breadcrumbs, excuse me, please. The breadcrumbs are simple. We've been in business since 2003, never raised capital, never did anything, always did it ourselves. But we are going to go public on December 22nd, 2020. We're going to allocate a large percentage or a significant percentage of the float to our subscribers and our affiliates. In other words, if you work with us, we're going to help you when we go public. The time clock is what's going to activate the amount of shares that you have. So in other words, the longer you've been with us, the longer you, or the more you will benefit. There are people who are going to be so rich because there's a guy, Brad, you know who it is. Our buddy who's used the old version, who's never changed, he's been around with us since 2004.
Never upgraded once.
Never upgraded once, man. That guy's gonna be so rich. But that's the thing. We want to give back. We're doing an IPO not because we need to raise money. We have plenty of money. And by the way, IPOs just stress, more regulation, but we're doing it for the people. And that is the truth. We're giving back to our subscribers. We're giving back to the people that helped us. And it will be on 2020, December 22nd. And you guys that are here, you now have that piece of news that nobody else has. You now know that your subscription dollar to Trade Ideas is not only there to help you do better in the market, but it's there as a connection to the management, to the company, if you so choose. I mean, nobody is asking, no one's telling you to subscribe. That's the thing. It's not for everybody. For our subscribers, yes, we are going to get friends and family shares. We're going to allocate shares for free. Correct. That's the thing. To give back. Okay. And obviously, all of that is going to be all fiduciarily properly done and everything else. But we really believe that this 2020 IPO is the most exciting thing that we've done possibly since the beginning, because it really is an opportunity to give back to the people that made it all possible, to you guys. And it really is all about you. Without you, nothing could be here. We would be stuck, with what they call the knee pad and tin cup, trying to beg for venture capital money. But you guys saw how good we were from the beginning. You never wavered, and you stuck with us for 16 years. Brad maybe longer, but but that's the whole thing. It's about you. It's about this personal relationship. It's not about the exit. On the contrary, it's about the entrance. We are entering onto the big stage with our IPO. We're not exiting. We are entering. We didn't come here to take part. We came here to take over. So let me, are there any questions about that? Don't everybody ask all the questions at once. Okay, so I'm going to, I didn't want to spend too much time today on the Q&A because we have a fantastic curriculum week always. The rest of the team has been breaking down all the AI trades. We're here to give you the nitty and the gritty, and we're just showing you that in terms of performance, I don't know how anyone could even pretend to come close to what we're doing compared to the S&P. And you guys have seen it. You see it all. One of the ways that we contribute to the whole market space of finance and fintech is through something that Barry Anderson is doing, which is our free trading room, where we have a meritocracy and a best practices forum for everybody interested in trade ideas that requires no money, just your attention. So this is a great vestibule if you're interested, if you want to see window shopping, if you want to see how people really interface with this data and how they react to it and which trades they take. And there are people there who take lots of AI trades, there are people there that don't, and you have the best of everything, but you get to really see it. It's kind of like the Anons, but for trade ideas. Okay, and Barry Anderson is the one that does a fantastic job. Barry, I hope you're feeling better after yesterday. So, Brad.
Dan.
There were a couple of really brilliant guys on the Trade Ideas podcast last Friday that were just gloating and gloating and gloating and gloating. What were they gloating about? Those two gloaters.
They were probably, you know, I guess I have to come clean. I didn't listen to the last one, but probably gloating about.
What did our great president say during his network show? You're fired.
You're fired.
Now, what the hell did I say, Brad? You're making.
Well, I think you were probably what you were talking about during your podcast, right?
Guys, listen. And you know this, okay? You know this to be true. If you have paid attention at all to our podcast, myself and Jamie have been telling you to run like hell from Facebook. And look what happened after earnings. I mean, this is where we give you the opinion. This is where we give you a little bit personal touch, the foundation. Listen, we have to call some things because we're in the game too. We're in the business. This is what we do. We're involved with our technology from day one. We've always made technology that we ourselves use. You know? And that's what we want to say is that the podcast, I really suggest that you guys tune in because we call some amazing stuff there. And it gives you another take on what Team Trade Ideas is all about. Please tune in. I really suggest that, and again, if you didn't listen to them, re-listen. There's a lot of good stuff there. One of our business development guys, Sean McLaughlin, wrote a fantastic book called The Post-BTFD Market, which is a great introduction to the fact that if you want to be successful as an investor, you have to learn how to both go long and short. And the market does not always go up, even when all the smart people tell you that it does. Okay, so this is trade-ideas.com, ebook, all available for free. We are a subscription-based business. That's how we make our money, and you guys help us not need to suck up to the venture capitalists. The premium service costs less than your Starbucks fulfillment for the day. And in terms of standard, I mean, we're talking about, you know, a taco shop at 3 in the morning. There's no other way you can make this kind of technology unless you did it from the ground up. We don't have any Oracle or IBM Watson bullshit. We did it all ourselves because that stuff doesn't work. It's that easy. We have a big promotion right now because our test drive is ending and it's 25% off for the first month for a year off of Trade Ideas, and this expires August 5th. Scott did a fantastic little counter for you so you know how many days you have to really think about it and decide if our kind of information is the information that you want to go with. It's that simple. So this is the code, Summer Drive, and it's 25% off. One of the things that separates us from the herd is that we focus on support. We have a large support staff, and these people are experts at their craft. That's the difference. Our support people are experts at trading, trade ideas technology, and everything having to do with our software. And we're good people. You guys know that because we've been doing it for this long. You can't do that and annoy people and be successful like we have. So I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to everybody who's participated in the test drive. Scott, is there anything that I left out? Anything that I need to mention?
I think that's all good. We'll have a recording up later on tonight or tomorrow morning, and they get an email notification from GoToWebinar about how to find it.
Yes. Everyone, thank you very much for your time. We know you have a lot of people vying for your attention, and we are grateful. Thank you, Scott, Brad, and everybody else at Trade Ideas. Have a great day, and take care.
Yep. Thanks, y'all.